Constitution of Ukraine and under international.
The White House has also rejected the referendum, saying Russia will pay a price for its military intervention in the region through sanctions and increased instability. But Russian President Vladimir Putin has rejected Western accusations that the referendum was illegal, saying it respected the will of the Crimean people, while the Foreign Ministry says it has agreed to seek a solution to the crisis through constitutional reform. We'll be right back.
Fun, inspiration, and knowledge. That's what you get from readers, writers, publishers, and the entire book world. Get some interesting reviews, events, interviews, and latest updates from the book world. The channel's book club, inspiring you one page at a time.
Welcome back. This week, 492 delegates converge on the Federal Capital Territory in Abuja to deliberate on what is now known as a national conference. And they're going to have at least 3 months to address all matters except issues on indivisibility and indissolubility of Nigeria as a nation. At the end of their deliberations, they're supposed to form a consensus and advise the federal government on the legal framework, procedures and options for integrating the decisions and outcome of the conference into the nation's constitution. Now, for a lot of critics, it's just a lot of talk. But Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Bola Akinteriwa, tells why these talks are very crucial.
Mr. President has explained clearly that he is not in favor of anybody debating, discussing national unity, that one is a no-go area. Nigeria, we should remain united. The Yoruba Southwest has come up with the argument that they don't buy that idea. They don't buy that idea that everything pertaining to that particular national unity should be discussed. Now, if the Yoruba Southwest and many others are coming out now openly to say, no, they should discuss national unity, should they raise the issue? And the committee set up to manage the affairs of the national dialogue. If the committee has a mandate not to entertain that, you will now have another order and counter order there. Because the people are saying, look, we want to discuss whatever pertains to us in this national unity framework. So, when you now look at the grievances people are expressing at the level of the recent killings of school children murdered in their co-slave, people now look at Boko Haram differently. People look at the whole Northeast differently. People now believe that they ask the questions, are cultures compatible this time? If Boko Haram succeeds in all its killings and they're able to set up or get their objectives, probably they want an Islamic State, who are they going to rule over? And the fundamental question now, which people also ask, is that with all these destructions, self-destruction, how do they want to reconcile, develop? Where are they going to get the funding? Are they not going to get money for developing their state, from other states. So all these questions now raise the critical question of where are we going to? So 2015 now becomes an issue, all right, in which, for instance, the president has the legitimate right to go for a second term.
Now, remember that shocking video posted on social media that got us talking here in Nigeria last week? It showed what can only be described as police brutality against a Nigerian in South Africa. The officers in the video were seen apprehending, stripping and beating the man on a street in Kensington, Cape Town. And it's not the first time Nigerians have been subject to brutality from even law enforcement. Some have said it's because we do not have a strong foreign policy. Others say it's a reflection of our domestic policy. But ever wondered whether foreign policy can be linked to a country's economic wealth, reflective on its foreign missions? Many Nigerians abroad tell tales of woe when they've turned to our embassies and missions for one reason or the other. Once again, Professor Akinteriwa answers my questions. Well, Professor, I've observed that, budget allocation into the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the past few years has been quite small when you compare to other ministries. Does this signify the importance given to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs?
I think that it does not. The only thing is that we can look at your observation in two ways. The first way is to say that, well, when you are allocated little or small money, it is an expression of the observation that foreign affairs do not constitute a big deal. It's not all that important. We can divert more attention to some domestic questions. We can interpret it that way, and in that case, you will be right. When we take a look again at the other way, the envelope system, which is not, strictly speaking, based on what your needs are, but it takes into account what is readily available to government in terms of revenue generation. And government decides that, okay, across board, less 10% or less 20%. In that case, whatever is budgeted for the foreign ministry may become the lowest when compared with others. And that one will not mean that foreign affairs is not important. Okay. However, the major problem, what is responsible for the littleness of the money given, is traceable to foreign exchange. You know, if the dollar is about 170 naira, and those who are appropriating money are dealing with the Nigerian naira, forgetting that diplomatic missions do not spend naira, but they have to spend international currencies. When they are appropriating, they appropriate in Nigerian naira, but when they are changed into foreign currencies, they always fall short of what is required. And the main reason for that is that as at the time the appropriation is taking place, the dollar may be $1 to 150, 160. But by the time money is released, it may no longer be that rate. Okay, and that's where